Hey everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of Attack and Productions. Today we're doing something very different than we haven't done before. Oh, and by the way, Fluff is here.
I am here. Hey everybody, yeah.
That's enough of that. Camera space and probably can't get both of us on the camera, so we decided that for some reason I would be on the camera.
Because we decided to put the pretty one on the camera. So that's how that works.
So today we have the anniversary stuff, as you can see here. This is the Agent Instruction Leader. But before we get into these cards, if you're not a follower, please follow her. Like this is Twitch for some reason. Like and subscribe if you enjoy our content. Yeah. We try to bring out stuff as much as possible. We're trying to do actually daily. So this actually will be a bonus video on top of tomorrow's my round 4 video, which I can never say that word for some reason. I don't know why.
Commentary,
thank you. So Agent Destruction is something that I absolutely loved, and it was actually one of my favorite archetypes when this came out. And by archetype, I mean, yes, the 7 cards, I think it was.
Technically 9 if you consider the Janemba and the Bojack that we got in that small expansion set.
Janemba was not part. Oh, yes, the
they
2
were
drops.
Agents. They were Resident Agents of Destruction.
Yeah.
So these are part of the anniversary box coming out the 7th of August. We got the full list of new cards coming out. Mm-hmm. So we're going to kind of go over those, discuss those. We do have more stuff like this on the way, just so everyone knows. Kind of moving forward, but we're going to kind of go through each of them, give our thoughts.
So let's start with the leader. Let's just go to the non-awakened side first.
Yes.
All right, so Bobbity, leader of Agent Destructions. Treat Agent Destruction cards in your hand as if they had no specific cost. So the 1-drop already did that. So now it doesn't really matter what color energy you have.
But the archetype really absolutely just needs this. Like, it has to have this, considering everything is a different color. Mm-hmm. You know, I think everything they did about this leader is right. Yeah. And it'll kind of, we'll go through that as we go through the whole set. But
so, Fluff, in your honest opinion, leaders who don't draw a card suck.
But everything in the archetype adds from deck to hand.
Okay, so that's fair. So in this case, leader. When this card attacks, add 1 card from your life to your hand. Then look up to 5 cards from the top of your deck, add up to 1 card of Agent's Destruction in its card's name to your hand, then shuffle your deck. So that's 2 cards you can potentially pull. In a deck like this, you're probably going to run, out of 50 cards, I want to say only 6, maybe non-Agent Destruction, maybe 8.
Yeah, I would say like your negates, maybe a couple tech choices here and there. But even their extra card is considered Agents of Destruction.
It is. So it's a free play if you have the 1-drop Bobby on the board.
Yeah. So,
which is pretty awesome.
You know, but we'll get there. We haven't discussed that. The only thing that I don't like about the front side on this leader is we're starting to see more adventurous ways of awakening leaders. And this kind of resorts back to that life 4 or less, draw 1 hybrid leader. Sorry about that. Got something stuck in my throat. We're kind of reverting to that. So, I feel like it kind of puts it behind the curve when you look at something compared to like Topo Lock or Dredgeku or Vegito. They can just awaken on turn 1 or turn 2.
Yeah.
So. But, love everything on the front side of this leader.
In case you're playing against someone who stalls, he self-awakens.
Yeah, so, at the absolute worst, you're going to awaken turn 4 with lots of energy to do lots of stuff.
So let's go ahead and awaken back up. So, that text is so hard to read, but it's Majin Buu, leader of the Agents of Destruction.
Yes, leader of the Agents of Destruction.
Once again, same permanent effect where Agent of Destruction cards in your hand, no specific cost, but his activate main, he does not get a draw when he attacks. But it's okay. That's okay, because activate main, choose 1 Agent Destruction card with energy cost 2 or less from your hand and play it. Once again, this works beautifully with the 1-drop Bobbity, because it reduces all Agent Destructions in your hand by 1 energy, which makes any 3-drop be free played with this card, which is pretty awesome.
And we'll see as we kind of see the cards later, they work perfectly with this, where some of them are play, draw, or play. Yep. This is going to be a very high combo based deck.
Yep.
And like that is very reminiscent of like what Hit did with Universe 6, the yellow Hit leader. Very reminiscent of what Jiren did with the U11 deck. Like cards that play battle cards for free are good.
Yep.
And especially like there's so much. I'm jumping ahead. Continue.
So activate main. For 3 energy, choose 1 Unison card with Agent Destruction in its card's name from your hand and play it with 3 markers on it. This is specific because the next card we're going to show, if I'm correct, is the 4-drop, 4 Pacific cost Vegeta Resolute Agent Destruction.
Yeah, which is usually specified green.
Yes.
But we don't worry about that because of the leader skill. So it's going to come into play with 3 markers on it.
Yes.
As opposed to waiting till 4 specified costs. In a lot of ways, I think this is one of the best unisons we've seen.
For sure. Double strike, crit.
Yeah.
Auto, choose one card in your hand, discard it. When this card is in play, choose all of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and KO them?
Yeah, so it's going to be 3 energy, blow up the field, double strike crit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be, and notice that it's all battle cards ignoring crit.
Yeah.
So it's going to get rid of everything. This card is fantastic. And then the +1, more pressure.
Plus 5,000 power. So it's now a 25,000 double strike crit.
Yep.
And if you happen to get to the -5 activate main, if your leader card is Evil Wizard,
or all of your energy is mono green.
Choose 3 cards in your opponent's hand and discard them. Not as strong as just playing the damn card.
Right. I feel like you're probably not going to get to 5 to do this unless you end up hard casting it later. Yeah. But yeah, it's just icing on the cake. If you get to that point, your opponent deserves to lose 3 cards. So
as of right now, this is my favorite card. We're just starting the list. I mean,
I feel like this is an incredibly strong unison in any green deck. You know, it's specified 4 costs, so it's definitely late game, but it fits perfectly in Dredgeku strategies. It fits perfectly into Slug strategies. This is just a great card. Yeah. Like it's a great unison. Double strike crit is a ton of pressure on a card that can't just be popped because we don't have anything that removes unisons yet.
So. For sure. So next card. So real quick, a lot of these starting out will be Agent of Destruction. I'm sure we're a little late to the party posting this video, unfortunately. So if you haven't seen these yet, check them out.
Well, and also, like, I'm sure maybe you've seen these, but like this gives us an opportunity to talk about them. Are they only good in Agents? Are they good elsewhere? Are these cards only locked to their specific archetype, or do they have a wider use to them as well?
Like, I think some of them may have a wider use, but most of them are locked in. So, Turtles. Very unique, so you only have 1 on the board at a time. When this card attacks, look up to 5 cards from the top of your deck, add up to 1 card Agent of Destruction in its name, among them, and add it to your hand. And shuffle your deck afterwards. So it's a nice little searcher, and in case you're awakened, it's a way to get another card to your hand for that turn.
Well, and this is going to be a card, like, as soon as you see it, you want this on the field.
Yep.
It's very reminiscent of the old Goten that got banned. Because Goten was top 3 at any card when it swings. This is top 5, but it has to be Agent of Destruction. But like you said, this deck is going to be full of Agent of Destruction.
Oh, for sure.
Like there really may only be 6 to 8 cards in the whole deck that don't.
Actually, I stand corrected because I want to get the 8-drop out, and the only quick way to get the 8-drop out still, I think, is the Majin Buu chain.
Majin Buu stuff.
So that's going to be actually 8 cards there. So I may make this deck final. It might be 12 cards that aren't Agent of Destruction.
I also feel like this is one of the decks with as much like searching top 5 and finding things. This may be one of those decks that might be able to run closer to 60 without seeing hiccups.
For sure. We'll experiment when we get to that point too. Broly, Invincible Agent of Destruction. Active Mean. 1 energy, discard this card from your hand, add up to 1 card of Agent of Destruction in its name from your drop area to your hand. So this is a good way of recycling certain key Agent Destruction cards you want to bring back out to your field that you've already lost, unfortunately. Garlic Jr., for example, when we get that card, if you're not familiar with it yet. So, but auto, when this card is played, choose one of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 5 or less, KO it. Then look up to 3 cards on top of your deck, add 1 card among them to your hand, then place the remaining in your drop area. So, unfortunately, that's the kicker there. You can free play this one with your Awakened side.
Yep.
He KOs a card, of course, does not ignore barrier, at 5 energy or less. Then you get to look at 3 cards and choose 1 card in your hand. Now, hopefully, the other 2 cards aren't cards you want to see.
I think that given his skill, like, to me, this is an auto 4 include in the Agents deck. Because it's going to let you recycle the extra card. It's going to let you recycle any battle card. Like, the Turles is a great target for this. This is an amazing card. And then if you ignore that activate main and just look at it in the context of a good green card, that effect's not bad for a 3-drop.
No.
Like, at all. Like, this is a really good card. It's a 3-drop 20,000, which is pretty good for a 3-drop.
And it brings any card to your hand?
Any card to the hand, yeah. And it's KOing anything 5 or less, barrier notwithstanding. So, love this card.
Which isn't bad.
Still didn't beat the Unison for me, but still a really good card.
So this one I'm a little iffy on. This is the Lord Slug, Mighty Agent Destruction. He is a super combo unique. Now, his auto is when your opponent activates counterplay skills, they choose 2 cards in their hand and discard them. I'm only iffy on this one because it is a super combo that does not...
You You don't get it. You don't
don't
get
get
that
a draw.
effect on the combo.
You don't get a draw.
Well, I mean, we don't get a draw on Bibbidi either, but
But Bibbidi's as many cards in your draw.
right. But my bigger problem is how squishy this card is.
For sure.
So it's a 2-drop, 15,000. Something as simple as a shocking death ball gets rid of this card,
Which is fine because then you just use Broly's effect and bring it back to your hand. Sure.
right.
And also a way of looking at it too is that certain cards play other cards in this deck too. And when you play those cards, your opponent has to activate that counterplay before that you revealed the card. So you could pull another card and Shocking Death Ball, maybe okay with just getting rid of that card. So
you go for your big play with the Arcane Absorption Boo. I would want this guy on the field.
Oh, for sure.
But is it worth giving up 4 super combos that are going to do something else for you on a more consistent basis?
And that's the question. Which testing will figure out that more and more. Especially like say if you get that big dropout, or you get the old school Janibas, or the Slug had crit, I think.
Yeah.
13 and Janiba had crit. I don't think Slug had crit.
No, Slug did not.
But swinging with them, people don't want to take the crits. They'll try to negate. If he's on the board, it's harder to negate that now.
Well, it's counterplay, so it's not going to affect attacks.
Oh, true. That's true. Sorry. Yes.
But this is going to prevent your opponent from, like, we've got the new counterplay that require unisons on the field.
Yeah.
It's going to punish those. It's going to punish any counterplay. I just don't know if it merits over a traditional super combo or something that may fill in.
So let's go to the next card. Android 13. Counterplay. If your leader card is Agent Destruction, if your leader card has Agent Destruction in its name, if the battle card being played has an energy cost of 3 or less, it is placed in its owner's drop area instead of being played. Play this card, and then your opponent chooses one card in their hand and discards it. So it's not a bad counterplay. It gets rid of the card if it's low enough for it. Also causes your opponent to discard a card, which is pretty nice. And if correct, since it has the comma then, it still goes off to discard.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Auto, when this card is played, shuffle up to a total of 2 evil wizard cards and or cards with Agent of Destruction in their card's name from your drop area into your deck. Not terrible. It's optional.
Yep. Which, I cannot remember if the secret rare is considered evil wizard or not.
It is definitely an evil wizard.
Okay, so that's a good way to bring back the 8-drop back to your deck if you need to, or any other card that you need in your deck.
I'm going to check that because I said definitely, and then I'm second guessing myself.
Well,
so keep going.
While you verify, we're going to the next card.
Yep.
Garlic Jr. This is the first Garlic Jr. we have gotten so far.
Yep.
Counterattack. And keep in mind, as long as you have the 1-drop Bibbidi on the field, he's 1 energy.
Yeah.
Which is pretty nice. So
that Android 13 was also 1 energy because it was a 2-drop reduced to 1. So 1-drop counterplay.
So negate the attack, then play this card. When this card is played, play up to 1 Agent Destruction card with energy cost of 2, other than Garlic Jr. From your deck with its skills negate it for the turn to shuffle your deck. This is what I was saying. The super combo Slug would be a nice one to do. You could pull that at the end of your let's say turn 2. That's only my only example really because at that point it gets a little dicey. Your opponent swings. You know it's their last attack because they got no more energy. You can't really do much after that. So then you pay the 1 energy, you play Garlic Jr., who plays the Slug to the field, and there you go.
It's not look at the top 5 cards if hopefully there's a card there that works. This is going to look your entire deck over, and you're going to be able to get anything. Now, the thing that I wonder, I can't remember on the 1-drop Bobbity, does he reduce the energy cost in all areas or by hand?
By hand.
Right, so you won't be able to grab a 3-drop in deck.
No.
But this opens, you can get a Turles, you can get a Slug, you can get the Bojack, or the Android 13.
Yeah.
So
or the 2-drop Janiba.
The 2-drop
I think it was 2-drop.
Which we'll see that one. Yeah. So
well,
I actually really like this card.
I'm thinking of the old 2-drop that plays an Agent Destruction from your deck. Of energy cost 4, I think.
Did he have Agent of Destruction in his name?
I gotta double check that.
Let me just.
So let's go over to Hatchiac real quick. I actually like Hatchiac. So if you don't see the Bobbity, all you gotta do is activate main, pay 1 energy, discard this card from your hand, play up to 1 evil wizard Bobbity with energy cost of 1 from your deck or drop area. Then shuffle your deck and look through it. If you look through it, which is pretty nice. So like you need to open that Bobbity. If you don't open that Bobbity, you've got to have this card in your hand. That way you could bring the Bobbity to the field, which is nice.
Yep.
Now, if for some reason you open up with Bobbity and they take care of it pretty quickly, then activate main and play them for your drop. You're covered. This is a good way of recovering your Agent Destructions, being one less energy, which is what you really want in this deck. Auto, when you discard its play, choose one of your opponent's battle cards of energy cost of 4 or less, send it to its owner's warp, then place up to 3 battle cards from your opponent's drop area to the bottom of their deck in any order, which isn't bad, depending on what kind of deck you're playing against.
Yeah.
So that could vary. There are certain decks I know. Oh man, what would actually hurt really?
So this could be really strong against like a Toa or Masked Sand deck. This could be really strong against a U11 deck that has like the 1-drops in the drop area.
Okay, fair enough.
But if you're able to like block, get them off the field.
It's also a Goku. If a Krillin's in the drop area, it's an old Goku. He gets like crit,
double strike crit,
or something like that. Yeah.
There's a ton of small things. He's incredibly niche. I do like the fact that it warps. It doesn't KO a card. It's not destroying a card. It's just sending a card to the warp.
Yeah.
So
that's actually energy cost 4 or less though. But yes,
excellent generic removal. I don't know that this sees play in Hatchiac decks. It might for just cheap removal. Hatchiac has plenty of the energy, but for the Agent of Destruction stuff, it's fantastic
for sure. Also, side note, the way his face is, you can see my mouse. It's like going like the line's not there. It's like going into his chest.
No, his cheeks are attached.
Oh, that's right. They are.
Yeah,
it's been a while since I've seen Hatchiac.
He's real weird.
Forgot about that. Okay, take that back. All right. So this is if you have a Bobbity on the field, this is your free card.
Yep.
All right. So
and this card is amazing from turn 1 to the end of the game. This is going to be the card that you're just going to turn to. Like it's a free play if you've got a Bobbity on the field, and it's just going to help you find different things.
So look up to 2 cards from the top of your deck. Add up to 2 cards with Agent Destructions in the cards. Name among them to your hand. Then place your remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order, and you can activate another copy of this card for your turn. If you added cards to your hand, add up to 1 card from your life to your hand.
Yeah.
So you don't have to do that. It just says up to. But
definitely further self-awakening.
For sure.
If you need to get there and your opponent is trying to slow roll you, this is going to get you there. And then later you don't have to take the life.
Yeah.
But it is going to help you find, Turles, Garlic.
Speaking of which, I don't think we said it. There it is. Sorry. Is he a hybrid? He is. Okay.
Yeah.
So gives you an extra energy, like so when you wake and stuff like that. That's all. I couldn't remember if he was a hybrid or not.
Super, super awesome card. I think this is going to be one of the cards. So I really feel like this Garlic, Turles are going to be the backbone of this deck.
For sure.
Especially like getting, and then I think Brawly is going to be an interesting tech piece. But this card specifically, I mean, the fact that it's a free searcher that's going to hit most cards in the deck anyway. Like, I think this is fantastic.
So, I think stepping out of the Agent Destructions, we now have our first non-Agent Destruction unison, which is Jiren. It's a red Jiren.
Yes.
For 3 Pacific red energy. Auto, though. When your opponent plays a battle card or a unison, this is the first thing that truly will target unisons. You may choose that card, which is beautiful because beforehand it's kind of like, it's just when they play it, boom, it hits. So now you can choose that card. And it gets negative 10,000 power for the turn. If you do, negate the skills for the turn. So this means you could choose when to activate the skill. Where beforehand, a lot of the autos, when your opponent plays up a card.
You had to do it on the first time.
For sure. So now, if you happen to be playing against a Vajix player, and they play their 1-drop Gotenks when it's on the board from discarding it, milling it, whatever, this could kill it instantly.
Auto kill it.
Yeah.
And then it also takes care of the Zeno that blue uses to ramp their
because 9,000. Yeah. So this is a really good card for red. I guess we're trying to look more towards that red-yellow U11 build.
I don't know. This is the type of card that I think feels really good in something like Frieza Prison or Pilaf.
Or even Cooler Mill, where it nags cards.
If I'm not mistaken, the Pilaf stuff looks for a unison with a specified 3 or 4. I can't remember, but either way, this card still feels really good in those types of decks because you're already probably going to be negging them out. -10 on a battle card can be the difference between game or not.
Yep. So, Activate Main +1 gets double strike. So it's already at 20,000. So now it has double strike, which is pretty sweet. -3. Choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and he gets negative 25,000 power for the turn.
Actually, I also want to point out that's Activate Battle.
Yeah, not main. Sorry, battle.
That is Activate Battle. It's kind of worse than Sen Shenron's effect, but this is incredibly reactionary. Your opponent plays something that's got 30,000. You -10 as it's played. They swing. You -3 Activate Battle, and this is going to catch people.
Yeah.
People are not going to pay attention to that's Activate Main, and you're going to be able to sneak away some negs.
Since I just said, Activate Main by accident.
Yeah.
So that's Jiren.
Yep.
Going to our next one. Since you mentioned prison, this is meant for prison.
Specifically
for me. All right, so
I don't like his name, by the way. Frost for the Clan.
Yeah.
It's kind of ill-fitting.
Also, I don't like the idea that he's meant for a Frieza BR, yet he's not a Frieza card. Like, it's just weird.
Frost had nothing to do with Frieza BR.
I mean, I have Topo in my Frieza deck, whatever. But Activate Main, if your leader card is red Frieza BR, look up to 4 cards from the top of your deck, add up to 1 mono red extra card among them, add to your hand, and shuffle your deck. Now, this is great because the leader itself, on its front side, top 5, search for an extra card, has to be red, but it doesn't have to be mono, so you're playing a multicolor deck, you're fine. But I think I've shifted my Frieza back to a mono red anyways. So this is a good way of getting 2 extra cards on my turn 1, which is nice, which helps fill the hand up. I'm getting those negates, I'm getting those searchers, I'm getting things I need to continue to build my hand up. -2, something in my opinion you will not use until after turn 5. If your leader card is red, Frieza BR, add up to 2 mono red extra cards from your drop and up to your hand.
Yeah.
So that's why you get recycling negates back to your hand. And keep in mind, this card is able to pull extra cards to your hand. Your opponent is most likely going to try to take that out, so you don't continue negating stuff or hurting their battle cards.
But the depth of cards that you're able to grab from this. So you've got Flight of the Grand Eagle. You've got After Image.
Yep.
Is that all you got?
Yep.
Paralyzing Technique.
A new red card we're about to show you in a second.
The new card, which the new extra card blows my mind. But also to note, this card has blocker. So this card is all designed to help Frieza Prison last longer.
Yes.
So this card is playing for the longevity. I think you're right on the -2. I don't think you're going to see that effect as much.
No.
But the ability to catch an extra card off of this is fantastic.
For sure. All right. So 7-drop Frieza. This is your substitute to the old 7-drop Frieza, which the old one, if you had 5 extra cards in your drop area, reduce the energy cost by 1. If you had 10, reduce it by 2. Yeah. So it made it 5 energy. This right here, Activate Main for 5 red energy. If there are 5 or more mono red extra cards in your drop area, play this card from your hand. So now he's a 5 cost. So it's very similar to the other Frieza. So if you haven't I like the other one better though. I will go ahead and point that out now. But this one real quick is if your leader card is red Frieza Army, and there are 2 or more mono red extra cards in your drop area, when this card is used in a combo, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards. It gets negative 10,000 power for turn, which isn't bad. But you want to play this card for the 8-drop Frieza.
But this card is versatility. I feel like in the first few turns, if you had like the 7-drop Frieza as it were,
the other one,
and you kind of instantly charged it because it wasn't useful to you. You waited to see it again. This one, if you've got it in your hand, like, am I going to charge this card instantly? It's going to -10 a card for the turn. And, it is battle cards still, but battle cards are still highly relevant to the game. Mm-hmm. And I think this is a fantastic, easy condition to me.
Yeah. So it's just another way of getting into the 8-drop and getting the main prison chain off. Yep. But the other one just next, it wipes
blows up the field.
25 or under.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So which is I think the correct solution is going to be some mix, like a 2-3 or a 3-3 mix somewhere in there.
So, the new X card, Planet Vegeta's Finals
this
Moment.
Card blows my mind.
Keep in mind, this is, in my opinion, a last resort negate on your opponent's turn, though. Only because counterattack, negate the attack. Then, if your leader card is red, Frieza BR, choose all of your. It's a typo. Should we say it says all of you, but it's all of your and your opponent's leader and battle cards, and they get minus 10,000 power for the turn. That being said, you do not want to use this on the first strike because then it makes your leader 0 or 5,000 depending on if you're awake or not. Yeah. And then they can turn around and just play a card, swing into your lead. You've already minused yourself, unfortunately. So what I like to do is, if you can, paralyzing technique first, wait for them to play another card, read their energy, read their hand, read their drop, make sure they're not going to play anything secret on you, and then they get this one afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think if you're playing against like Vegeks that has already done their mill.
Yep.
There's no more play extension they can do that you're aware of, and they start swinging. Hit this, you're gonna neg out the Trunks, the Kais. They're gonna be left with a 9,000 Vegeta. They're going to have to either Union Potara into one of the Vegeks cards, or they're just gonna have to come up with some, or rely on their Unison only. Like this card to me is it's a trump card.
Oh, for sure.
This is going to like, and I mean it's minus 10,000 for the turn. So think about it. You've got this. You've got the Unison that's minus 25. You've got Paralyzing Technique, which is minus 5. You've got After Image Technique, or no, because After Image Technique is battle only, right?
It's a counterattack. You choose one of your opponent's battle cards. It gets minus 10,000 power, and either your leader or your battle card gets plus 40,000.
But is it? It's only battle, right? On the energy modulation, or is it turn?
Yeah, sorry. The minus 10,000 is battle.
Right,
yes.
Right. So, but I mean, right there. I mean, you're going to be able to deal with a battle card that's 50,000.
Oh, for sure.
Like easily, and I think that this is one of those fantastic. Like Frieza Prison's going to be real good, people.
I know. I'm so excited. So that's 2 decks I'm rebuilding. I'm rebuilding my Agent Destruction. I'm rebuilding my Prison for sure. All right. Speaking of Agent Destruction, Janemba, Wicked Agent Destruction. So this is an interesting one. It is 2 energy, 2 blue to be exact, in case you play a different deck. Activate main. If your opponent, when you and your opponent, I can't read apparently. You and your opponent draws 1 card. Then your opponent places the top card of their deck into the drop area. So this is actually more viable to the mill Janemba than it is towards Agent Destruction.
But then you look at the next 2 effects, and I think this is for Crit Nimba.
Potential. I mean, I think it could be for both. I think it's for both.
For sure.
Only because the Activate Main, which is +1, this card gains crit for a turn, and -2, Activate Main or Battle. If your opponent has 15 or less cards in their deck, this card gets plus 15,000 power and triple strike for the turn. So, like I said, this is for both. It's for both mill and crit purposes.
Frieza or Janemba was already capable of sliding in victories on like clutch double strikes or something like that, and that skill's Activate Main Battle. You don't have to commit to that skill before the attack goes through. You wait to go through it. Activate Battle, maybe. Well, you don't get a counter step, so that doesn't really make sense. But this card's just amazing, and if you're using this in unison with the new reboot Goku leader that can restand this Unison.
Oh yeah.
So that's going to be 2 swings, 30,000 triple strike.
Yep.
I like this Unison, and it's only a -2.
Yeah.
Make 3 energy and have a essentially dual attack triple strike 30,000.
So I love this guy's comment right here. Mill every deck except Vegeks, but can triple strike Vegeks in any other deck if you're running out of steam.
Yes, please.
So, next card. It's another Janemba. Deflect and Crit, which is a 20,000. This one I think is particularly meant for Crit Nimba. When this card is played, activate this skill. At the start of your opponent's next turn, switch up to 3 of your mono blue energy mode to active mode, then draw 1 card. That is amazing for a 4-drop.
And it's not really a 4-drop because the whole Janemba thing is like if you've got a 5 on field, the 5 does a thing to play a 4 from your hand, and then one of the 4s plays 1 from the warp and 1 plays from the drop area. So you're probably not paying 4 energy to play this card in a true Crit Nimba deck. Like
you could tap out, do what you need, and then in your turn, your opponent's turn, restand 3 of them, which is like I said, it's phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely great.
All right, combo attack Janemba. Activate main, burst 2 cards, choose 2 evil incarnate cards.
Choose
1. Sorry, 1.
Yeah.
Evil incarnate card or demon card from your battle area other than copies of this card, which is starting to bug me the way it's read. And return it to its owner's hand. Play this card from your hand, then add up to 2 cards from your life to your hand. You can't play more of this card pretty much.
Yeah, so this is going to get you into, I think there's one of the Janemba cards that is an Evolve. I think it might be the 3-drop that evolves for 2 energy. But I think that this is going to...
It's a 3-drop that evolves on top of a 1-drop, but it only evolves... No, it's Spikes, or whatever his name is. He goes into the 3-drop, I think is what it was.
Yeah, but I don't know what the full purpose of this card is, besides Quick Awakening for Janemba. Like, the whole purpose of Janemba is protect the castle, pretty much. So I haven't quite figured out what the purpose of this. If I'm missing something, let us know in the comments below. My gut instinct is that this is an easier way to play one of the other Janembas. But I'm not super familiar with the Crit Nimba cards. So
this one might not be any idea of Crit Nimba. It might be part of the mill chain. Yeah. Maybe.
Well, the mill chain does not want to take cards from its life. It wants to stay as high on life as it can for as long as it can. So Self-Awakening is not good in that deck.
It might be for the actual crit chain to bring a certain card back to your hand to restart the chain.
Correct. That's what I think.
Yeah. Hopefully that's right.
This card is
another deck I'm going to make, actually. I'm going to make this.
So this card is an illustration of why I don't like searchers in this game, because this proves what I think a searcher should be. Gokul, the legendary fusion warrior, 1001 damage, or battle power. When this card is played, add up to 1 green card with an energy cost of 6 or less, and a union fusion skill from your deck to your hand, then shuffle your deck. So you're going to guarantee to hit this skill, unless it's something that's in your life. But if you're playing this card, odds are you've got more than a few targets to get this off. It's activate main, pay 1 green energy. Place this card in its owner's drop area, then choose 1 card in your hand with a Union Fusion skill, reveal it. For each character name required for the revealed card's Union skill, add up to 1 card of a matched character's name and energy cost between 3 and 7 from your deck to your hand, then shuffle your deck. So, mouthful there, but this is a 1 card setup Union Fusion. Mm-hmm. So it's going to cost you 2 energy to do it, but this is going to set up a Gotenks play. That's specifically what this is for, I believe. Although this could really be played in the old green Vegito deck. I think it's set 3. Yeah,
I can see that.
Yeah, I think it might be useful in that deck as well. And I feel like this should be where searchers go. Not that activate main skill, but that auto. When it's played, search your deck for a specific type of card. Yeah, I love this card. This may be... I don't know that this card is going to be particularly useful, but this is my favorite card thus far.
Going into what this card is actually meant for, well, it's probably meant for a lot of things, but obviously they're going for the Gotenks green engine from set 2 or 1.
It's set 1. No, draft box. So the green Gotenks stuff was set 1, but then the draft box 1 had a Gotenks leader that was green.
So for right here, active main, if your leader card is green Gotenks, and you place 1 card from your life into your drop area, play this card from your hand. Active main, if your leader card is green Gotenks, and you have...
and you return this card to its owner's hand.
Yeah. Look at the top 5 cards from the top of your deck, add up to 1 green Gotenks card, or 1 green Unison card, with a specific cost of 2 among them, and add it to your hand. That's towards the Unison, obviously, and shuffle your deck afterwards. So it's a nice way of just playing for free if you need to, then returning to your hand so you can do a union.
Yeah, it's a nice cheapy way. I'm really meh on this card, but I do like it.
I'm thinking of bringing back my not Brotinks, but the
other Gotenks
my blue
build.
Gotenks with this build, making a blue green build.
Yeah, I think just that early Gotenks stuff was really expensive to play.
Yeah,
but looking forward to the next card, we
Gotenks.
Get cheap Gotenks. We got Gotenks, the Grim Reaper of Justice. Deflect, dual attack, Union Fusion 2, so you need Sun Goten and Trunks Youth. Those have to be the same power. Auto, if your leader card is a green Gotenks card, when this card is played, draw 2 cards, then choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, KO it.
Yep.
Auto, when this card is removed from your battle area by an opponent's skill, add up to 1 Sun Goten and up to 1 Trunks Youth card from your drop area to your hand. So this is going to set up future plays. Yep. So dual attack, 25,000, draw 2, pop a card. It has a floating effect. Not bad at all, especially for 2 energy.
Yeah,
it's not bad. And if we get more Gotenks stuff like this, I can see that being incredibly viable.
Yeah, and your opponents, I mean, if they KO it, they're setting you up for another fusion right afterwards. Yeah. And depending on what it is, you're drawing 2 more cards. Yeah. It's one of those cards that it's going to be iffy to attack, pretty much.
Yeah, and they can't respond to it, so you're going to have this card. Yeah. Can't counterplay it, so it's just going to be on the field. You're going to get 2 swings out of it. You're going to get 2 draws, so it's going to replace the 2 cards. Then when it's gone, it's going to replace those 2 cards again.
Which is pretty nice.
It's very awesome.
All right. Now we're going to, if I'm correct, the the ape chain.
Yes, I'm very excited about this stuff.
So King Vegeta, activate main is a unison yellow, 2 Pacific costs. Activate main for 1 counter. If your leader card is yellow, look up to 5 cards from top of your deck. Add up to 1 mono yellow great ape among them to your hand, and then shuffle your deck afterwards, which is pretty nice for helping to get those certain apes you need.
Yep.
Then -4, play up to 2 mono yellow great ape cards with a different name and energy costs of 4 or less from your deck, and shuffle your deck. So. Wasn't there an extra card that able to play 2 apes?
March the Great Apes that plays them from the drop area. So it was, I think it was a 3 or a 4.
I think it's 4.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm super excited for Great Apes.
So you place on turn 3.
Yeah.
You give 1 marker. Your opponent's gonna go after this card, giving you another turn. Like they're not gonna let you try to bring out 2 apes just like that. And if they do, they may have a solution for it. But if they don't, you're bringing out potentially the Bardock ones, Double Strike.
All
blockers.
the old ones were really good. Double Strike, blockers, fantastic cards. And so just having a way to quick tutor them out without having to like play the small Tora or a Fasha and then being able to go into the apes off of comboing them, this just says to hell with it, we're going right into apes.
For sure.
Which I really like.
All right. Speaking of apes, Great Ape Bardock. Might of the Resistance. Now this is unique, so we'll have 1 on the board, crit and blocker. Permanent, you can only have 1. You can only play mono yellow Saiyan cards.
Yep.
So if he's on the board, can't play any other color, which is fine.
Yep.
Auto, if your leader card is yellow at the end of the battle, where this card is used in combo from your hand, play it. So it's another card that you just. And this is different because this is a pay 1. Granted, the other one's a pay 2, but it has I think double strike and 20,000. This is 15,000. Right.
Crit blocker.
Yeah. So with this one, you do need. Is it the field card you need to restand all apes?
You would have to be playing Planet Vegeta.
Yeah.
But you will be playing Planet Vegeta.
For sure.
Like, and this gives you a little more flexibility as far as because you don't have to have 2 open energy to go into a Bardock. You can go into this, then you can evolve into the Will of Iron Bardock.
Yeah.
So you can get your swing, get the crit in, evolve. You've then still got a dual attack blocker with 5,000 more power. Which there was no great fast way to play Will of Iron outside of the Bardock that got.
Now this is Bardock Xeno though.
This is Bardock Xeno. I didn't even see that.
I don't think you can evolve on top of this one.
You cannot. So this would not be a target, but it's still fantastic for 1 energy to play a critical. Thanks for the catch.
All right. So Full Moon. Go ahead. I know you're excited for this card.
Full Moon, permanent. If you have a Great Ape card in play in your battle area, you can activate this card's activate battle skill from your hand without paying its cost. So it's basically an additional super combo for the deck. Activate battle, choose 1 of your mono yellow cards. It gets 10,000 power for the battle. If it's your opponent's turn, choose up to 1 of your Great Ape cards in your battle area and switch it to active mode. So basically with 4 of these in hand, you're going to be able to block and bump up your apes and keep them alive while restanding them after the block goes through. So you're going to have multiple opportunities to block. My only wish is I wish there was a way to recur this card, but I still think this is a fantastic strategic card for what apes want to do.
I don't think there's a way to recur yellow extra cards.
There's not.
Okay.
I've tried.
All right. So I think this is going into Hatchiac / Kiku, maybe.
I think this is going to be Kidku territory. It's kind of odd the choice.
Oh yeah, sorry, skillless battle cards. Yeah, this is Kiku. Keep in mind, I saw this art and I was like, oh, announcer? What?
No, it's got a. This is very specific. This is probably my least favorite card.
Fair enough.
They announced.
So +1 activate main. Choose this card and all of your skillless battle cards to get plus 5,000 power for the turn. -1. Play up to 2 skillless battle cards with energy cost of 1 from your deck or drop area, and then shuffle your deck if you look through it. -2. Activate main, shuffle 2 skillless battle cards from your drop area into your deck, then draw 2 cards. So that's a recursion because a lot of the cards I think in Kiku play from the deck, don't they?
Yeah, you play them from the deck.
Yeah.
So it plays one with. Where did I see it?
The -1.
Choose up to 2 skillless battle cards with an energy cost of 1. So you're never going to really get above that 10,000 mark. So this is extremely useful in like the first turn or 2 of Kidku, and then after that,
and that's only through your drop. Oh, sorry, it says from your deck. Sorry,
you play them from the deck
or drop,
and then that gets you into your waking condition faster.
Yep.
But if you're playing Kidku and you see the 1-drop Goku, you're already kind of at that condition either way.
So, in your opinion, would you pay 1 energy for this card on your first turn, swing with it, then -1, bring out 2 skillless battle cards, and swing? Get that early aggression, get your opponent down as low as you can?
Yeah, this would be a turn 1 play for me, or a turn 2 play. Those 2 battle cards that I just sent, put them back into the deck to draw 2 cards, maybe.
Fair enough.
But I don't like this. I think Kid Ku has better options, aka Shenron.
Okay. All right, Sun Goku, and Android 8 Bonds of Battle. Permanent. This card and skillless battle cards in your battle area can be used in combo while in the rest mode, which is pretty nice.
Especially with Kid Ku.
If your leader card is Black Sun Goku Childhood card, when this card is played, add up to 1 card from your life to your hand. Then play up to 2 skillless battle cards with 10,000 power from your deck or drop area. Shuffle your deck if you want through them. So for 2 energy, so on turn 2, if for some reason, because I think Kid Ku awakens at 6 life.
6 if you've got a skillless in the drop area.
Yeah. So you play this on turn 2. You're bringing more battle cards on the field. It helps you get to 6 life if you're not already at 6 life.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, and also like kind of recanting what I just said. You know, the +1 on that unison was all battle skillless get 5,000 power.
Yeah, and this card.
And that card.
Yeah.
So if you're playing off this, yeah.
This card, yeah.
Yeah, so if you know, you've got a couple and you drop it, play 1, play this, then you +1 on the unison, those 10Ks become a relevant 15K. Because it's kind of the same strategy as Vegeks. Just swing lots with 15K, make your opponent waste resources until you're able to get in the kill. I can see a strategy with this. I can see something building here. It's very different than the traditional Kid Ku build. I feel like it's a more focused build. But the ability to combo with your skillless, the leader gives them an additional 5K combo power once per turn. So if you no longer have to worry about having an active mode skillless to combo with to protect. You can just combo with 1 off the field, which is great.
So, Hatchiac. This is an interesting card. I never played Hatchiac, actually. Fluffed it.
Yep.
But 9-drop, triple attack. If I'm correct, Hatchiac, you cannot swing with more than 1 battle card if it's over or 7 or under energy.
3 to 7.
Can't swing.
So once you swing with a battle card, you can no longer attack with cards between 3 and 7 unless it's the same card.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So triple attack, EX evolve with an energy cost of 8. So there's the 1 8 drop.
Yeah.
That I think it's considered 5 in your hand or something like that.
When it's on the field, it's a 5 everywhere, but when it's on the field, it becomes an 8.
That's what it is. So you're able to swing with that. So you swing with another card, then you swing with that card.
Yep.
Then you EX evolve into this card. When this card evolves to this card, you switch it to active mode. When your opponent activates a counter skill, they choose 1 card from their hand and send it to their warp.
Yeah.
So now it's kind of like, hey, I got this card. I can attack with 3 times. If you want to negate, you can, but you have to get rid of a card.
And this is a free EX evolve.
Yeah.
So there's no additional energy investment into getting this card out. I love this card. This is exactly the type of stuff that Hatchiac needs. Hatchiac is going to get to the point where they can play these cards. And I never played I didn't really like the 5-drop Hatchiac. I think I played that at a 1 or a 2 of maybe max. But with this, it becomes a viable strategy.
Yeah, for sure.
It's enough to close the game.
All right. So, next card. Max powered Kamehameha. All right. Counterattack. Negate the attack. You may send 4 cards from your drop area to your warp. If you do, return this card from your drop to your hand, and you can't activate this card again. Activate main, choose 1 of your opponent's battle cards with energy costs greater than their current energy and send it to their warp. That shuts down a lot of stuff.
Say hello to a new staple. Like, negate the attack, recur it. You get to send cards from your drop area to your warp to add it back to your hand. Yep. So it's coming back. I don't think that's the best cost on that, but there are a lot of decks right now that don't care about what's in their drop area.
For sure.
But there are still a lot that do. So you wouldn't play this in Dredge Ku. You wouldn't play this in... You may not play this in Vegeks, or not Vegeks. You may not play this in like Black Mass Saiyan or something that relies on warp, but you would play this in Hatchiac. Mm-hmm. You'd play this in basically every other deck.
Would you play this in Kiku?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Any deck that focuses on arrival or focuses on auto skills. So think about this card against a Vegeks player. You know, on their mill, the only thing they hit is that 4-drop Vegeta on turn 1. You play this card, it's gone.
Yep. And also, truth be told, I may take out the other 6-drop Boo for this card instead, because the 6-drop Boo was so early game. If my opponent brings out a battle card higher in energy, I can just go bye.
Yeah.
But this right here,
it fits in.
Yeah.
Well, and also like
I can't remember if the 6-drop Boo says choose or not though.
It does not. I believe it's an ignition effect. As soon as it happens, it happens. This again does not KO. So you're not KOing the card. Yep. So cards that say they can't be KO'd, like, doesn't matter. This is getting rid of it. I love this card. This is my favorite card. Like, hands down, this is my favorite card in the anniversary box.
I think that's it.
From
the 26 that was released this morning.
This morning.
Yes.
Now, do you want to go over
which by this morning, yesterday, because we're a little behind, unfortunately. Right. Bojack stuff.
The Bojack Brigade stuff. I still feel like
this is actually good support for Bojack. The only problem was that you said it before. Bojack has no real finisher. In Fluff's opinion, I never really truly played Bojack, but I can agree with that.
The whole strategy of the deck is to kind of give your Bojack cards advantage and power for having the other cards on the field. Like I think one gives Bojack's crit when it combos, but they don't have dual strike. They don't have dual attack. They don't have double strike. They don't have triple strike. There's no way for them to slide in a victory. It just does a bunch of fancy stuff, and I don't know that this fixes it. But this card particularly does fix the leader's problem of not having a
awaken
effect.
Yeah. So activate main, if you have 2 or more Bojack brigades cards in play in your battle area, play this card from your hand. Then you can't play another one of this card. Now, if your leader card is Yellow Bojack, though, and it's on his front side, and you have 2 or more energy, you could discard this card from your hand, flip your leader card over to the backside, and then draw 2 cards. So now it gives your leader some form of an awakening effect, which is pretty nice.
So this is going to give you another Bojack to platform evolve into to go on.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's a 3-drop, so it evolves to the 5-drop, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then the 5-drop goes into the big Bojack.
What's that? You can do that turn 3 now?
Yeah. I think it's always been a turn 3 play.
Always been a turn 3 play? Yeah. Okay. I can't remember what the specific cost for that 8-drop.
Before, you had to hard cast the 3-drop. Yeah. Then once the expansion that had the blue-yellow stuff, you could counterplay with the Bojack to then go in off of it. So it started out as a turn 4 play. It's now at a turn 3 play where you completely tap out. Yeah. Now it's still a turn 3 where you completely tap out. But
you don't tap out in this one. Oh, well.
The EX, the evolve cost, you will.
Yeah. For sure. All right. So next one. Violent.
Violent Rush Zingia.
If your leader card is Bojack Brigade card, when this card is used for a combo in the battle area, it gets plus 5,000 combo. It gets an additional 5,000, so it becomes a super combo.
Yeah.
So as long as you have this in your field, you just combo it away. It's kind of like the Jeeks Kai. The Kai. What's her name?
Spring Kai time.
Yeah. Where she gets additional 5, but her specific thing is that if you have 5 or less cards in your hand, as long as she's on the field, which they cycle so quickly, unless your opponent's going to get rid of a card, they're like, okay, well, I'm just going to expect this to be a 10,000 combo in the future.
Yeah.
So at the end of battle, though, where this card is used in a combo in your battle area, return this card to its owner's hand.
So if you had 2 or 3 on those, you combo with these, they just all come right back to your hand. So so you can't stack these in your hand and then use them to get the extra. But Bojack is kind of built on the idea of like, play this card from hand, play this card from deck, which plays this card from deck, which does this, which does this. So you can get these on the field relatively easily.
Yeah. All right. So, new 7-drop Violent Rush Bojack. Energy Exhaust, Barrier, Unique, Aegis, Blue Yellow, once returned, Arrival, Blue Yellow, 1 yellow energy. I think I saw someone say a card where they want to throw everything on it because it has a ton of skills. Now, his Aegis is when you activate Aegis, draw 1 card.
Yeah. So in Aegis, for those of you who don't know, because Aegis is the worst skill in the game, next to maybe Heroic or Villainous. Aegis is discard. So this is Aegis blue yellow. You have to discard a blue and a yellow card or a blue yellow card, and then you get to restand 2 of your energies. So you're sacrificing hand advantage to get your energies back. The one thing that I do like about this is that on those turns where you have to tap out to play Bojack, the Aegis lets you restand energy to be defensive.
So you restand energy as well? As part of Aegis? Okay.
Yeah, that's the Aegis skill. Yep.
It just has another effect to it, so you get to draw 1 card with it.
So when he activates his Aegis, you'll also get to draw, which helps Bojack. So I think like on turn 2, if you could play this guy out, it's got barrier. It's going to stick around for a little bit.
I guess it gives you a reason to play Senzu Bean now.
Absolutely.
And I mean, granted, you had a way to do Senzu Bean beforehand if you played the only 2 blue-yellow Bojack. So this is a 3rd blue-yellow Bojack now.
So now I think blue-yellow fits into this deck well.
All right. Chile and Limo, the Bandits. 2-drop, Deflect, Auto. If your leader card is green, Shinron card, which goes back to the Wish leader, Chile and Limo. When this card is played, choose one. Place up to 2 cards with Dragon Ball skills from your deck to your drop area. Shuffle your deck, then draw 1 card. I don't like that one as much because typically the Dragon Ball cards allow you to draw per card.
Yes.
So, but its secondary effect adds 1 green desire card from your drop area to your hand.
Yeah.
What was the green desire card?
I was actually just looking at that because I went blank. Okay, so we've got green. There's a Kind Wish, which is the specific
Kind Wish,
lemon lime.
Yeah.
If your leader card is a green Frieza's army card, choose all of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, place them at the bottom of their owner's deck in any order, and if there are no battle cards in play in your battle area, choose 1 Brawly BR card with an energy cost of 4 from your deck, play it, then shuffle your deck.
So if you are awakened, you just play this, get the card back to your hand, wipe the board.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
not bad.
And then there's Hidden Feelings. Choose up to 2 of your android, but that's the android specific. There's the Namek Plead for Salvation, and then Unthinkable Fate, which is the Skillless Kidku green card. So this is definitely meant for a Kind Wish. So it's okay.
Side note, look at his gun. The trigger's right there. It's like it's charging up to shoot, but his hand's right here holding a handle.
I can't remember how his gun was animated in the movie, if he used it at all.
Well, her hand's on the trigger.
Yeah.
Maybe
it's a dual grip, like he can hold it from either side.
Yeah, but maybe he's already pulled the trigger and he pulled his hand away. I don't know. All right. Allied Reinforcements.
Another new desire card.
If your leader card is Chile, BR, Limo BR, choose
choose 1 card in your hand and discard it.
Yeah, there you go.
And then choose 1.
If you have no cards in your battle area, play up to 1 green Brawly BR card with energy cost of 4 from your deck, and up to 1 green Chile BR or Limo BR card from your deck, then shuffle your deck. Play up to 1 green Chile. This is the secondary effect. Play up to 1 green Chile BR or Limo BR card from your drop area.
That first effect is nutty.
Yeah.
Like, imagine Kid Ku clears your board, or Dredge Ku clears your board. You play this desire. Now you've got a Brawly 4 and a Chile or Limo. And Lemon Lime is already really good. Like, this is a really good desire card for this archetype. I think we could see a lot of meta success with this card. So,
bringing back 21. She left for a little bit, but she's back. Counterattack. Negate the attack. Then, if your leader card is blue, Android 21 card, and you have a blue-green multicolor in your energy, choose up to 1 Android 16 card with energy cost of 2 or less in your hand and play it. Yep. Actually, is he 2-drop?
He's a 2-drop.
Okay, cool.
So when you play him, you get to ramp the top part of your deck to your energy. So for this to be in unison with the new card that they've released here, you probably need to see this 3 times with the Android. Yeah. So the Android 18 Searcher pulls that off relatively easily, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so. Yeah.
But this is really, really an awesome card, and I think this helps 21 in a lot of different ways, especially with the Violent Predator hit. This just super helps.
So, Super 17, Energy Exhaust. If your leader card is blue, Android 21, negate this card's Energy Exhaust skill in all areas. Activate main for 2 blue, 2 green, and 3 other cards. Yeah. Play this card from your drop area. Play this card from your energy area. Then, play up to 3 Android cards with energy cost of 5 or less from your energy area as well. If your opponent has 3 life and you've been able to charge 3 bad omens, and you get the 7 energy before your opponent can take you out,
game.
That's game.
But I mean, yeah, there are very few things that could deal with that.
So I'm definitely gonna rebuild 21 just to see how it works. Yeah. Granted, hopefully I can just be able to free play the 16, don't have to pay 2 energy to play them, and hopefully I get good cards into my drop. I mean, my energy.
I think this card is amazing. I mean, think about why Agents of Destruction were really good back when, like when Child's Wish was still around.
Yeah.
And you could just play all of them. So you're playing this guy as a 25,000. Then you're playing 5 of the Bad Omens.
3.
Or, yeah, sorry, 3 of the... energy costs 5, but you're playing 3 of those, which I think are 20,000 themselves.
Yep.
And I think they have crit, or they're decent cards to have on the field.
I don't remember. All I remember is that it pops from your opponent's life. So
Yeah. But if your opponent's at 4, you still then have 4 battle cards to just swing with. So, really good. I enjoy it.
A set that I never got a chance to actually play. This is the set 2 support.
For Vegito.
Yeah. So, counterattack. Negate the attack, then play this card. That's normal. Permanent. If you have 3 or more energy, reduce the energy cost of this card card in your deck and hand by 2.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming there's a card that plays. That's why. For 1 red, activate main for 1 red energy. If your leader card's Vegito card, and you add 1 card from your life to your hand, play this card from your hand.
Yeah. So this is
1 energy, regardless how you look at it, as long as you have 2 energy.
right. One of the big problems with the old Vegito deck was
3 energy.
it does not draw often. It doesn't draw much, and it's kind of cumbersome to get Gokus and Vegetas on the field.
Gotcha.
So definitely, you notice they're both counterplay or counterattack.
Yeah, I assume the Vegeta. Yeah. So, if the battle card being played has 15,000 power or less, it is placed in another drop area. Instead of being played, then play this card. If you have 3 or more energy, reduce the energy cost of this card in your deck or hand by 2. In the same effect for its activate main for 1 red energy. If your leader card is Vegito card and you add 1 card from your life to your hand, play this card from your hand. Because this is using the Patora fusion, which requires to be on the field. Yeah. Yes.
And again, actually, let's just look at the last card, and then I'll give kind of thoughts.
All right. So, Vegito. Barrier, Union Patara, which in this case, this is free, actually.
Yeah.
If your leader card is red, Vegito card, and you draw 2 cards, and you have to have a Son Goku and Vegeta on the field to make it happen.
Yep.
For 2 red energy, play up to 1 Vegito card with energy cost of 7 or less from your deck on top of this card, then shuffle your deck. For 4 energy, choose up to 1 Vegito card with energy cost of 10 or less in your hand and play on top of this card. Now that I assume is implying towards the secret rare, right?
Yes. Or
the
big one is so that one had a Union Patara of 5.
Okay.
Before, so 5 specific red. This is reducing it to 4.
So it's pretty much potentially a turn 4 play.
Potentially.
And
yes.
if I'm correct, the red Vegito leader, all Gokus and Vegetas in your energy are considered all 3 colors, or in your deck are considered all 3 colors.
No. So the Gokus and Vegetas are.
Yeah.
The Vegetos are not.
Yeah, all the Vegetas and Gokus.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. So this card is really great. Before, you couldn't get into your Vegito plays until you had 3 energy. And by that point, you're tapping out to play the 3 energy. Now, if I remember correctly, the leader has restand 2 or draw 2. I can't remember. It's definitely not
before I joined the game, and I never actually got a chance to play this leader, actually.
I'm actually looking that up now. You kind of finished where... Looking for the leader. Everybody, I'm sorry. I should have had this stuff open and ready, but I didn't. So, draw 2.
Draw 2, okay.
So he's a draw 2.
Actually, I think mostly from that sets are draw 2s.
Yeah, I think they didn't start doing the tap 2 energy until maybe set 3. Overall, I like the fact that this gets you, this could play a Vegito from your deck on turn 3.
Mm-hmm.
So also, it doesn't specify whether the Vegito is red, blue, or green. So the red Vegito is really good. The green Vegito is really good. I don't think the blue Vegito is locked to a specific leader, but the other Vegetos are not, and they're really good, leaving you 1 energy to defend yourself with, which is incredibly important in this deck. So I like this. There's been a lot of inflation on these cards, and I think this is the one that does not merit the inflation. Doesn't matter what we get, that leader just cannot keep up with today's meta. It doesn't draw on the front side. It's just not great.
That pretty much covers all of the anniversary stuff. There we go. That's the word I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for checking out our kind of going over the cards and our opinions on them. It's like I said, it's kind of late. This video is coming up the day after these things were announced, unfortunately, just because of timing reasons.
Yeah.
So hope you all enjoy. Like always, hit that like, subscribe button if you enjoy our content. Look for more odd stuff that we're trying to move away from just duels and profiles. We're starting to add more and more other stuff to it.
Definitely Market Watches, strategy series, stuff like that.
Things have been in the works for a while. We just never got the time or energy to actually do it. So now we're going to try to start pushing forward on that. And potentially some new fun stuff that we're thinking of. Go back to some of our roots. Hopefully that's okay with you all. So I think that covers it all. So, like always,
read your cards, know your plays. Fluff out.